now let me start our presentations with backgrounds of borrower. GIGI Coffee Sdn Bhd was incorporated on 11 August 2040 as a private limited company in Malaysia. It operates in the retail sale of coffee, food and merchandise and is a homegrown Malaysia brand. The first GIGI Coffee outlet was opened in Pavilion, Kuala Lumpur in 2019 with the brand promise of providing high quality yet affordable coffee under the slogan Everyday Great Coffee. The company has shown strong growth despite the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2020-21, GIGI Coffee operated further than 10 outlets, which is increased to 16 outlets in 2020-22, 120 outlets in 2023, and more than 150 outlets nationwide by early 2025. This shows the company's resilient and strong market demand. GIGI Coffee is managed by experienced director, namely Loh Botek, Loh Kayun, and Loh Si-Hun, supported by the founder and group CEO Marcus Liu. The company also has corporate shareholder BT Brands Sdn Bhd with an investment of 1.5 million. The directors are actively involved in the operation and are proposed guarantor for the company credit facilities, reflecting strong accountability. Overall, based on the 5 C's and company credit assessment, GIGI Coffee demonstrates positive character, good management, and acceptable credit worthiness from banking's perspective. Now, let's move to the proposed loan facilities and utilizations. GIGI Coffee Sdn Bhd has applied for total credit facilities of Rm 3.2 million, consisting of a term loan with a 10-year tenure, hire purchase facility with a 9-year tenure, and overdraft facility with a revolving tenure at BLR 0.5% per amount. These facilities are structured in line with sustainable finance-based financing. The proposed facility will be secured by a shop lot with an estimated market value of Rm 4 million, which is sufficient to cover the total financing request. GIGI Coffee Sdn Bhd qualifies as a genuine SME in the food and beverage retail sector. Established in 2040, the company operates more than 150 outlets nationwide as of early 2025, showing the strong growth and varied borrowing capacity. Under the company framework, the purpose of financing is the expansion of GIGI University Cafe across 8 UiTM campus. The fund will be used for cafe renovation, purchase of equipment and furniture, working capital and installation of solar energy panel. The purpose is clear, specific and aligned with the company core business and sustainability strategy. Overall, based on the principle of lending and company assessment, the purpose of loan are safe, suitable, purposeful and creditworthy. Next, project detail and risk assessment. The project to be financed is the establishment of GIGI University Cafe at 8 selected UiTM campus, namely Sabah, Sarawak, Johor, Kedah, Pahang, Melaka, Kelantan and Negeri Sembilan. This project is strategic expansion by GIGI Coffee Sdn Bhd into the higher education market and is not a diversification into a new business but continuation of its existing foods and beverage operations. The project is fully aligned with the company core business. GIGI University Cafe will adopt the same brand, menu, standard, operating procedures and supply chain system as existing outlet. With pure experience operating cafe industry environment, the company is able to understand customer demand and manage operational challenge which help reduce implementation risk. University campus offer a stable and high potential market due to the large student and staff population, creating consistent daily demand and repeat purchase. This allows GIGI Coffee to build long-term brand loyalty among young consumers, supporting sustainable revenue growth. Several risks has been identified, including operational risk from managing multiple outlets, market risk during semester break, financial risk due to the high initial cost, and sustainability risk related to the solar energy system. These risks are mitigated by the company's strong management experience, standardized SOP, established brand strength, and long-term cost saving from solar energy. Overall, based on the FIN367 credit analysis, particularly capacity, the project is considered strategic, manageable, and suitable for bank financing.
GIGI Coffee Sdn Bhd is fully owned by the BT Brands Sdn Bhd, which provided strong financial backing and also centralized decision making. This single shareholder structures allow the company to move quickly and also maintain stable ownership. The board of directors includes Loh Botek, Loh Kayun, and also Loh Si-Hun, who have been guiding the company since 2000 and also 2019. Under the leadership of Marcus Liu, the founder and the group CEO, GIGI Coffee has experienced rapid expansion, coming from the just 10 outlets in 2021 to over 150 outlets by the early 2025.
Next, I will present on the business and operations, followed by the economy, industry and market analysis of GIGI Coffee Sdn Bhd. For business and operations, GIGI Coffee Sdn Bhd operate in retail food and beverage industry, focusing on coffee, pastry, food items and merchandise. The company uses a modern grab-and-go concept which is very suitable for urban customers who prefer fast and convenient service. Besides regular outlets, GIGI Coffee also has flagship store that focus on research development, coffee roasting and improving customer experience. Daily operations are supported by a strong supply chain. GIGI Coffee uses 100% Arabica beans sourced from countries like Indonesia, Brazil, and Ethiopia, which helps maintain consistent quality and reduce supply risk. The company also follows standard operating procedures, provides staff training, and uses digital platforms like the GIGI app for promotion and customer loyalty. For the GIGI University Cafe project, sustainability is emphasized through solar panels, recyclable materials, and hiring student barista. This benefits both students and the company while supporting long-term growth.
In terms of economy and market conditions, Malaysia's F&B industry is growing due to higher disposable income and changing lifestyle. The coffee market has expanded rapidly with strong demand for both affordable and premium coffee. Although competition is intense, GIGI Coffee remains competitive due to its strong local brand, affordable pricing, and wide outlet network. University campus are also a strong market as students and staff frequently purchase coffee. Overall, the economic and industry environment make the GIGI University Cafe project promising with good long-term potential.
Alright, so now I'm going to share the financial story of GIGI Coffee over the past few years. Let's start with profitability. The early years weren't great. In 2020 and 2021, GIGI Coffee actually made losses. But that wasn't really a surprise. At that time, the company was still expanding, and on top of that, COVID hit the F&B industry pretty hard. So the losses during those 3 years were more like part of the growing process. Then, in 2022, things slowly started to change. GIGI Coffee managed to turn the business around and made a small profit. It wasn't huge, but it was important because it showed the business model was finally working. After that, the growth became very obvious. In 2023, profits jumped to almost 3 million ringgit, and in 2024, they increased again to around 4 million ringgit. This basically tells us that GIGI Coffee's core operations are now solid and sustainable. When we look at the revenue, the growth is even more impressive. Revenue went from about 7.7 million ringgit in 2022 to more than 31 million ringgit in 2023, and then almost 54 million ringgit in 2024. So they show that more customers are coming in, more outlets are opening, and the brand is becoming more popular. Simply put, people are buying GIGI Coffee and they are buying a lot. Now, in terms of returns, the company is actually doing quite well. Return on asset in 2024 was about 30%, which means the company is using its assets efficiently to make profits. Return on equity was very high, close to 80%. But this is partly because the company is still quite heavily funded by debt. So while the returns look great, they do come with some risk. Moving on to the financial condition, this is where the things get a bit more mixed. GIGI Coffee has negative working capital throughout the years, including in 2024. Basically, they owe more in the short term than what they hold in current assets. But in the cafe business, this isn't unusual because customers pay immediately while supplies are paid later. The good thing is that working capital management has improved a lot. In 2024, working capital days improved to around 34 days, which shows better control compared to earlier years. Liquidity is still on the weaker side, since the current ratio stayed below 1. This means the company relies heavily on daily sales to cover short-term bills. But since cafe sales happen every single day and payments are mostly cashless, this risk is manageable unless something unexpected happens, like another lockdown. In terms of solvency, the company is highly geared and relies a lot on borrowing to grow quickly. This increases financial risk. However, in 2024, the company's net worth turned positive because profits were retained, which is a good sign that the business is slowly strengthening its financial base. Lastly, when we look at the asset management, things are quite stable. Inventory like coffee beans and milk moves fast, so there's very little risk of wastage. Receivables are also low because most customers pay immediately. The fixed assets such as equipments and innovations are directly linked to generating sales through new outlets.
Next, I will explain the capacity of GIGI Coffee's neighborhood to take on additional debt. Firstly, the company debt level is high with a debt to equity ratio of 501% in 2024. This is mainly due to its aggressive expansion strategy to open more outlets nationwide. However, the company total value increased significantly from 1.05 million in 2023 to 5.07 million ringgit in 2024 because of strong retained earnings. This growth provides some support for its borrowing capacity. In terms of profitability, GIGI Coffee recorded a profit before tax of 5.65 million ringgit and 4.02 million ringgit after tax in 2024. Profit margin of 10.5% and 7.45% shows stable operation. The return of asset of 30.2% and return on equity of 79.3% indicate efficient use of asset and strong return to owners and suggesting sufficient income to meet loan repayment. For liquidity, the current ratio stood at 0.62, which is below the ideal level. This indicates tight short-term cash flow, mainly due to rapid expansion. However, cash flow risk is manageable as the business generates daily cash sale. Access to short-term facilities like an overdraft would further support operation. Lastly, sales of 53.92 million ringgit compared to total debt of 25.39 million ringgit show a reasonable debt to income position. Although interest figures are not provided, strong operation profit indicate the company can meet interest obligation. In conclusion, despite high leverage and weak liquidity, GIGI Coffee demonstrates acceptable capacity to service its debt, supported by strong profitability and growing sales.
Next, for the capital position, GIGI Coffee has paid up share capital of 1.5 million, fully owned by the BT Brands neighborhood. Business growth has mainly been funded through the retained earnings and borrowing. The company recorded a strong turnaround, achieving a positive retained earning of 3.57 million in 2024, resulting in a net worth of 5.07 million. Although the company remains highly leveraged, leverage ratio has improved significantly, reflecting better profitability despite expansion being largely debt funded. First, for collateral and guarantees, the purpose banking facilities amount at 3.2 million. This facility facility are secured by the freehold shelves loans on the Icon City located in Kota Penang, valued at 4.1 million, which provides strong assets coverage. The property is uncharged, allowing the banks to obtain a first legal charge. In addition, the facility is supported by the personal guarantees from the directors and also corporate security from the BT brands in Number High. The 100% shareholders strengthen the bank's recoverability.
For this section, I'll explain the credit risk and mitigation for GIGI Coffee using the 5 Cs and campaign model. Under the 5 Cs, the company's director is low risk because it is managed by experienced directors and no negative CCRS or CITOS records. The bank will manage this through regular engagement and performance reviews. Next, capacity is assessed as moderate risk. Even though the company is profitable, liquidity is slightly weak and gearing is high, so the repayment structure will be based on projected cash flow and kept conservative. For capital, the risk is also moderate since leverage is still relatively high. The bank will limit dividend payouts and encourage profits retention to strengthen the capital base. The condition of the business is moderate risk due to the competitive F&B industry. This will be monitored continuously based on economic and industry trends. The collateral is low risk, as the freehold shop valued at 4.1 million ringgit provides sufficient security for the 3.2 million ringgit loan. Now, under the campaign model, character is low risk because the management team is experienced and has a good repayment track record. Ability is also low risk, supported by strong revenue and profit generation. The margin of financing is considered moderate risk, but it is still acceptable as it is supported by the collateral value, and the bank will apply a prudent financing margin with staged disbursement. The purpose of the loan is low risk because it is clearly for business expansions and aligned with the company's core operations. The amount is also low risk since it is responsible compared to the business size and project cost. For repayment, the risk is moderate, but it is supported by improving profits and cash flow. The bank will align the repayment schedule with the company's cash flow cycle. And lastly, insurance is low risk because the company's assets and operations are insured with the bank name as beneficiary.
Now let's look at the credit decision and whether GIGI Coffee's loan application should be approved. Based on the company's credit detail, the loan application should be approved. This because GIGI Coffee has shown improving financial performance with increasing revenue and profits over the past few years. The company also has positive retained earnings, which indicates financial stability. The loan is used for genuine business purposes such as opening new outlets, supporting daily working capital and sustainability initiatives. Although the company has relatively high debt and weaker liquidity, these risks are balanced by strong cash flow and improving performance. In addition, the loan is supported by good collateral as well as personal and corporate guarantees, which reduce the bank's risk. The loan structure and repayment plan are also suitable for a long-term project. Overall, based on the 5 Cs campaign models and basic lending principles, this loan can be accepted provided that the bank applies appropriate terms, conditions, and credit risk control.
Based on the overall assessment, it is recommended that the loan application by GIGI Coffee's neighborhood be approved, subject to appropriate term and condition. This recommendation is supported by the integrated analysis using the 5 Cs credit and comparative framework, which indicate that the borrowers demonstrate acceptable creditworthiness. Firstly, in terms of characters, GIGI Coffee show consistent business growth and currently operates over 150 outlets nationwide. The company's financial statements are audited with unqualified opinions and reflecting sound corporate governance. Furthermore, checks with CCM and CITOS do not reveal any significant adverse finding, indicating that the management is credible and trustworthy. Secondly, with regard to capacity, the company demonstrates an acceptable ability to repay the purpose financing. In 2024, GIGI Coffee recorded revenue of 53.92 million ringgit and a profit after tax of 4.02 million ringgit, although the company is highly geared and has relative weak liquidity. This risk is mitigated by strong operation cash flow, recurring retail income, and scalable business model. Hence, the repayment capacity is considered adequate. In terms of capital, the capacity net worth increased to 5.0 million ringgit due to retained earnings and reflecting the owner's commitment to the business. Additionally, a profit before tax margin of 10.5% provides a reasonable buffer against potential risks. The purpose of financing, which is to expand GIGI University campus at selected UiTM campus, is considered acceptable and viable, supported by stable demand and sustainable initiative. Lastly, the loan is adequately secured by a shop lot valued at 4.1 million ringgit together with directors' guarantees, and the proposed repayment structure is appropriate. In conclusion, despite some concern related to gearing and liquidity, the risks are mitigated by strong profitability, sound management, and adequate security. Therefore, the credit application is justified for approval, subject to standard credit terms and continuous monitoring. Based on the case analysis, it is proposed the bank extend a total credit facility of 3.2 million ringgit to GIGI Coffees and Berhad to finance the expansion of GIGI University Cafe at 8 UiTM campus. This financing is intended to meet both long-term and short-term funding requirements arising from the expansion plan. The proposed credit facilities consist of a term loan, hire purchase, and overdraft. The term loan is suitable for financing long-term capital expenditure. The hire purchase facility is intended for the purchase of cafe equipment and furniture, while the overdraft facilities will support short-term working capital need. The proposed use of fund includes innovation work, purchase of equipment and furniture, working capital, and the installation of solar energy panel. These use are considered valid as they support income-generating activities. In addition, the solar installation reflect the company's green initiative and may help reduce operating costs in the long term. The total financial amount of 3.2 million ringgit is based on the estimate project cost and is justified by the scale of the expansion and the nature of the business. All facilities are proposed at an interest rate of BLR plus 0.5% per annum, which is considered reasonable given to the company performance, repayment capacity, and expansion-related risk. From a security perspective, the facility will be supported by acceptable collateral and joint and several director guarantees, providing adequate protection to the bank. This disbursement of the term loan and hire purchase will be made progressively upon submission of supporting document, while the overdraft will operate on a revolving basis subject to compliance with all standard condition precedent.
Lastly, this section represents the credit report for new loan application of GIGI Coffee Sendirian Berhad. In terms of credit security, the loan is secured by a first legal charge over a freehold shop lot at Icon City Bukit Mertajam, Penang. With a market value of Rm 4.1 million, the property secures total loan facility of Rm 3.2 million, resulting in a loan-to-value ratio of about 78%, which provides adequate protection to the bank. All legal documentation must be complete before disbursement. Next, the guarantors include Loh Bo Tek, Loh Khan Loon, and Loh Seo Poon as personal guarantors, as well as PT Prime Sedia Berhad as a corporate guarantor. Moving on to the condition precedent, these include execution of all legal documents, submission of updated financial statements, and confirmation of valid insurance coverage on the charged property. For drawdown conditions, the borrower must comply with all conditions precedents. The bank solicitor must confirm that all security documents are in order, and this must be no material adverse change in the borrower's financial positions. Lastly, under credit covenants, the borrower must maintain proper financial record, submit audit accounts annually, inform the bank of any major business change, and maintain adequate insurance coverage throughout the loan tenure.